Okay, I'm about to ask you a question that's going to make you squirm a little, and possibly question everything you thought you knew about success. Here's a question that's going to make you uncomfortable. What if everything you believe about discipline is wrong? And serious, what is that voice in your head saying, I just need more willpower, is actually the reason you keep burning out? And what if the high achievers you admire, the ones who seem to have unlimited discipline, aren't actually using willpower at all? I'm going to show you exactly what they're doing instead. But first, let me tell you about the day I realized I was torturing myself for no reason. Picture this. It's 4:47 a.m. Why is it always 4:47? Like, what is it about that specific time that makes our brains go, hey, let's have an existential crisis? My alarm hasn't gone off yet, but I'm already awake, staring at the ceiling with that familiar knot in my stomach. You know the feeling. That Sunday night dread, except it happens every morning now. I've got my color-coded planner sitting on my nightstand like some kind of productivity shrine, because apparently I thought the secret to success was rainbow coding my failures. 17 different tasks scheduled for today, each one meticulously time-blocked, because I read somewhere that's what successful people do. Today's the day, I tell myself. Today I finally stick to the plan. By 6 a.m., I'm already behind schedule. The meditation app is still loading while I'm frantically checking emails. My power breakfast becomes a protein bar, eaten while standing in my kitchen, scrolling through LinkedIn. By noon, I've completed maybe 3 of those 17 tasks, and I'm running on pure caffeine and self-loathing. By 8 p.m., I'm face down on my couch, wondering why everyone else seems to have their act together, while I can't even stick to a simple daily routine. Sound familiar? I thought so. If you're a high achiever, this cycle is particularly brutal because you've built your entire identity around your ability to perform, to deliver, to push through when others give up. So when you can't maintain the discipline you think you should have, it doesn't just feel like a failure of action, it feels like a failure of character. This is where everything goes sideways. Here's the plot twist your brain doesn't want you to know, and why it's designed to make you fail. But first, let me introduce you to 2 characters who are having an epic battle inside your head right now. And yes, I realize I'm about to use animal metaphors to explain human psychology. Bear with me. See what I did there? Meet the Sprint Cheetah. This magnificent predator represents everything you've been taught about discipline. The cheetah's philosophy is simple. Discipline equals intensity. If you're not going all out, you're not trying hard enough. The cheetah is the fastest land animal on Earth. They can hit 70 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. It's absolutely incredible to watch. Pure power, focus, and determination. The cheetah loves 5 a.m. wake-ups, ice baths, and anything that makes you feel like you're earning your success through sheer force. Its battle cry? Go harder, push through, outrun everyone. But here's the thing about cheetahs. They can only maintain that incredible speed for about 20 to 30 seconds before they're completely exhausted. After a sprint, they need to rest for up to 30 minutes just to recover. And here's the kicker. The cheetah hunts alone. It believes success comes from individual effort, from grinding harder than everyone else, from never asking for help, because that would be weakness. Don't get me wrong, the Sprint Cheetah is absolutely magnificent. It's like watching a Ferrari in a world of Honda Civics. Now meet a very different animal, the wolf. Unlike the Sprint Cheetah, the wolf doesn't rely on explosive speed. It relies on endurance, strategy, and something the cheetah never learned, the power of leveraging other resources, such as the pack and hunting systems. Here's the thing about wolves. They're not the fastest predators, but they have a 95% success rate when hunting. Why? Because they understand that sustainable success isn't about individual intensity, it's about identity, systems, and leveraging the strength of others. The wolf operates on a completely different fuel source. Identity alignment. Every time you act in accordance with who you believe you are, the wolf gets stronger. Every time you act against your identity, the wolf gets confused and starts working against you. But here's what makes the wolf truly powerful. It doesn't hunt alone. The wolf knows that I'm someone who gets things done. Doesn't mean I'm someone who does everything myself. The wolf's identity includes I'm someone who delegates effectively, builds systems that work without constant oversight, and trusts others to contribute their strengths. And this is where high achievers get trapped in what I call the discipline death spiral. You use the Sprint Cheetah to force yourself through massive productivity sprints. You feel amazing for a few days or weeks. You think, finally, I've figured it out. But the cheetah is burning through your willpower reserves at an unsustainable rate. Meanwhile, your sense of identity is getting mixed signals. Are you the kind of person who maintains consistent habits? Or are you the kind of person who goes all out and then crashes? Your brain looks at the evidence. You start strong, then burn out. You make grand plans, then abandon them. You promise yourself you'll change, then repeat the same patterns. So your brain updates your identity. I'm the kind of person who tries really hard but can't stick to anything. And once that identity solidifies, you're fighting an uphill battle against your own brain. Can we agree that this cycle is absolutely exhausting? Good. This isn't just me being weird with animal analogies. There's serious neuroscience behind why this approach fails. Dr. Andrew Huberlin from Stanford explains that your brain has two distinct systems for motivation: the dopamine-driven wanting system and the identity-based being system. When you rely on willpower, you're constantly activating your anterior cingulate cortex, the brain region responsible for effortful control. This region literally gets fatigued, like a muscle that's been overworked. You with me so far? Cool, because what I'm going to say next is crucial. It's this: when you act from identity, instead of from willpower, you're activating your basal ganglia, the brain region responsible for automatic behaviors. This system doesn't get tired. It gets more efficient with repetition. Okay, this is where it gets absolutely bonkers. High achievers who seem to have unlimited discipline aren't actually more disciplined than you. They've just figured out how to make the wolf and the sprint cheetah work together instead of against each other. And they've learned that the wolf's greatest strength isn't always individual effort. It's often how it can leverage resources such as other wolves and hunting systems in a pack strategy. I'm going to show you exactly how they do this. But first, let me tell you about the 4 warning signs that you're stuck in the willpower trap. Warning sign number 1. You use should language instead of identity language. Listen to how you talk about your goals. Do you say, I should work out more, or I'm someone who prioritizes fitness? I should wake up earlier, or I'm an early riser. I should be more organized, or I'm someone who creates systems. The first version is the cheetah talking. The second is the wolf. Warning sign number 2. You've experienced the 2-week phenomenon. You start any new habit or routine with incredible intensity. You're crushing it for the first week, maybe 2. Then something shifts. The motivation fades. The routine becomes a grind. And eventually, you crash. That's your sprint cheetah, running out of fuel while your brain remains unconvinced that this new behavior is actually you. Warning sign number 3. You insist on doing everything yourself. You see asking for help as weakness. You believe that true discipline means grinding through everything alone. You refuse to delegate because no one can do it as well as I can. That's the lone cheetah mentality. The wolf knows that sustainable success comes from leverage, whether that's leveraging systems or leveraging the strength of others. Warning sign number 4. You're great at sprints, terrible at marathons. You can pull off incredible feats of productivity for short periods. All-nighters, intense work sessions, periods of extreme focus. But you struggle with consistency. You confuse intensity with sustainability. A sprint cheetah is excellent at sprints. The wolf is built for the long game. But here's what really breaks my heart about this cycle. It's not just ineffective. It's actively damaging. Every time you start a routine and abandon it, you're not just failing to build a habit. You're building evidence for a negative identity. Every time you make a plan and don't follow through, you're not just missing your goals. You're teaching your brain that you're unreliable. Every time you rely on willpower and burn out, you're not just getting tired. You're reinforcing the story that discipline is supposed to be painful and unsustainable. And you're reinforcing the story that success requires suffering in isolation. And if you're a high achiever, this hits differently because you've probably succeeded despite this broken approach, not because of it. You've learned to compensate for inconsistent discipline with raw talent, long hours, or sheer determination. But there's a cost. You're constantly exhausted because you're fighting against your own brain. You feel like a fraud because your success doesn't match your internal experience of struggle. You're terrified, but if you stop grinding, everything will fall apart. You've normalized chronic stress and burnout as the price of success. But what if I told you there's a completely different way? What if instead of fighting your identity bulls, you could train it? What if instead of depleting your willpower, you could build systems that make discipline feel good? What if the secret isn't more willpower, but a stronger identity? In part 2, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this using what I call the wolf method, a 4-step process that builds discipline through identity, not force. You'll discover how to make your wolf and Sprint Cheetah work as a team instead of enemies, how to create what neuroscientists call identity-based automation, and why the smallest actions create the biggest transformations. Before I show you the full wolf method in part 2, let me give you one technique you can use right now. Instead of saying, I should work out, try this. I'm someone who moves my body daily. Say it out loud. Feel different? That's your wolf waking up. Because here's the truth that's going to change everything. You don't need more discipline. You need a clearer identity. Your wolf is waiting. See you in part 2.